Hello YouTube land, this is Veteran Mountain Man again coming to you today with the 4th and 5th Amendments to the United States Constitution. So what are the 4th and 5th Amendments? How do they require the U.S. to treat people in a specific way? What do they really mean? Well, the 4th and 5th Amendments specifically deal with how you're treated while under suspicion of a crime or accusation of a crime, including the fact that you're entitled to a defense, because that wasn't always the case. In many cases, prior to about the 1600s, you really didn't have a defense in court. You had whatever they told you you had, and you either confessed and could be shown leniency in a lot of cases, or you failed to confess and you were treated harsher. Well, the Constitution of the United States kind of changed around how the legal system was handled, especially in the United States. And one of the big reasons was the Fourth Amendment. So, for those of you not really familiar, this one basically gives you property rights and the right to be free and secure in your own property. And what does that really mean? Well, let's listen to it. I'm going to give you the quote of it right here. So, quote, the Fourth Amendment states, "The right of the people to be secure in their person, houses, papers, effects, against unreasonable searches and seizures shall not be violated. And no warrant shall be issued but upon probable cause supported by oath or affirmation, and particularly describing the place to be searched and the persons or things to be seized." So this is quite a bit, and it gets quite complicated. However, here's the basic rundown. You're innocent. Unless caught red-handed, that means in the middle of the act with evidence on you or evidence in plain sight, you are innocent. So the police cannot enter your property without you inviting them. They cannot search your property unless you give them permission, unless they can get a judge to sign a warrant. And to get that warrant, they must be able to show probable cause and swear oath under the law that there is evidence to collect. So, even with a warrant, they also have to specify what it is they're looking for and where they have to be looking. Now, this gets a little bit fuzzier here and is not very clear in every case. Most states will accept a property of a home or a business to be a location, and stating that there's evidence in your home means that they can search the whole house. Now, that doesn't mean that they can raise the house to the ground. And if they get excessive in their search, they can actually be prosecuted for committing violations of the Fourth Amendment, even under search warrant. That really depends upon your individual state. Other states will require different types of proof depending upon how invasive the warrant is. However, the rule still states you're innocent pretty much unless you're caught red-handed, because you are allowed to be secure in your person, effects, and property. Now, this also means some very interesting things. Because it specifically states papers, it means that a police officer cannot walk up to you while you are standing on a street corner doing nothing. Now, let's caveat this. If there is a law against standing on the street corner doing nothing, then you are in fact in violation of a civil ordinance, and he can come up and demand to see your identification. However, if you're, say, standing there waiting for the light indicator to change and he walks up to you and it is obvious that you are waiting on the light indicator to change, he cannot declare that you were standing there doing nothing. So, in a lot of cases, you are not required to give over your identification to a cop, and in some cases it's even illegal for them to ask. But be careful with this, because just because you do not believe you are violating a law doesn't mean that they don't see it differently. So be very careful with that. Now on to the Fifth Amendment. And I know what you're all going to say. Well, that's the one where you can refuse to incriminate yourself, right? Well, yeah, that's a very small part of this one, but it covers a lot more. See, testimony provided against you has to be allowed to you so that you can use it in formulation of your defense. It also guarantees that you have to be indicted by a grand jury type system unless on active military service during a time of war, in which case the UCMJ supersedes this. And it specifically mentions that in this amendment. So don't get all upset for people like Bergdahl and the Chelsea Manning who leaked information onto WikiLeaks in the middle of war zones, from the information from the war zones while we were at war. They actually are covered under this amendment, but they are covered under the UCMJ in this amendment and received their fair trial according to the UCMJ. But it also guarantees that you cannot be forced into double jeopardy. Well, what is double jeopardy? Double jeopardy means that you cannot be tried twice for the exact same situation. Now, that doesn't mean multiple counts. You can be charged with multiple counts of a criminal act if they suspect that you have committed multiple offenses of an act. What it basically states is you will not be tried twice with two separate trials over two specific statutes that are different statutes over the exact same offense. They cannot do that. It is actually illegal in the United States to do that. It's not illegal in a lot of countries. Look at South Africa, who recently had a blade runner, that is a person who does not have their lower legs and competes in the Special Olympics in a type of running. He shot his girlfriend, and he was tried once for first-degree murder and one for depraved heart murder, which is also called negligent homicide in certain situations. In the United States, he couldn't have been tried like that because it actually violates your Fifth Amendment. Now, also the Fifth Amendment gives you security in that your property cannot be confiscated if you have not committed a criminal act and have not been convicted of a criminal act without just compensation. It is one of the reasons that an individual living in Portland, Oregon, received his AR-15 back after his brother had stolen it and committed a school shooting. Yes, the firearm had been used in a crime. But under the Fifth Amendment, the owner of the firearm had not been convicted of a crime, had not committed a crime, and had all rights to receive his property back, since it was not being held in evidence against his brother. And yes, of course, it states that you are not required to testify against yourself in court or civil proceedings. Well, these are not the only amendments that cover the legal aspect for citizens. They're just the two biggest. The 6th, 7th, and 8th all cover how the justice system works, and we'll get into those on another day. Anyhow, I wanted to thank you for your time. Remember, there is constitutionus.com below where you can actually read the Constitution for yourself, which I encourage everybody to do. I have also got a link below to the National Archives where you can see digital copies of the original Constitution and the Bill of Rights. And I've got a link to Amazon.com where you can purchase an ebook for $3, which includes the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, all of the amendments, and the Declaration of Independence. Once again, if you like what I'm doing here, please like and subscribe. Also, come visit me at minds.com/Veteran Mountain Man and start following me there. I interact in discourse and debate there quite a bit. Feel free to talk to me, bring up topics, send me information about things you'd like me to discuss or break down. Thank you all, and have a good day.